Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Norlene Ebel-Ame. We begin the broadcast from the global security, where the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, has reaffirmed Nigeria's unwavering commitment to the United Nations and the global community in promoting peace and security. The minister affirmed this during the high-level plenary pledging session of the 2025 United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting in Berlin. He highlighted Nigeria's active participation in international peacekeeping efforts, noting the country's rotation of the base protection force deployed with the United Nations Interim Security Force in Abuja and the formed police unit at the United Nations Transition Mission in Somalia, Sierra Leone and Liberia, and more recently engagements in the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau. And back home in Nigeria, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to continue to place premium on acquisition of cutting-edge technologies for the armed forces to reposition the nation's fighting force in line with international best practices in military warfare. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Tinubu, affirmed this while inducting two newly acquired 109A Striker helicopters and the Presidential Air Fleet in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello has details.
Two helicopters, A109A Striker helicopters, into the Nigerian Air Force.
Priority 2 of the 8 under President Bola Tinubu's administration, which is to strengthen national security for peace and prosperity, is again being demonstrated, and this time around it is the turn of the custodians of the sky, the Nigerian Air Force.
This induction ceremony, therefore, is not merely about adding new helicopters to our fleet. It is a strategic statement of intent, a demonstration of our collective resolve to strengthen our armed forces, defend our nation, and reinforce Nigeria's leadership role in Africa. I am overly confident, and rightly so, that the deployment of these newly acquired platforms will add impetus to the combat power of the Nigerian Air Force in tackling our contemporary security challenges, not only within the shores of our country, but also in the West African sub-region.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, while commending the efforts of the armed forces, said despite financial constraints, the federal government will continue in its drive to reposition critical sectors of the economy to attain an enviable position among the Committee of States. The newly inducted helicopters are tailored for multi-role operations, including surveillance, air support, and tactical troop transport.
The dynamic security landscape of our nation demands an agile, well-equipped, and responsive Air Force, capable of rapid deployment across multiple theaters. This reality underscores the need for continuous investments in modern platforms to bolster the Nigerian Air Force's capacity to deliver air power across all spectrums of warfare.
The acquisition of 2 additional Striker helicopters by the Nigerian Air Force is a testament to President Bola Tinubu's vision of repositioning the armed forces to be able to contend with contemporary security challenges in the country. From the Presidential Air Fleet here in Abuja, I am Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Thank you, Olajide. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed security heads to strengthen collaboration and cooperation with neighboring countries to achieve maximum results in the fight against terrorism and banditry within and around the country. The president gave this directive to the security chiefs at a meeting this Friday. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, Service chiefs, heads of intelligence agencies, and representatives of the Inspector General of Police were all part of the crucial meeting. After the meeting, Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa promises that the security agencies are going all out to turn around the situation.
The entire security situation in the country, the president is concerned about what's going on, and we have reassured him that we're on top of our game. We're working extremely very hard. What has happened of recent is that there's a global push by terrorists and jihadis all over the Sahel area, and that pressure is what actually came into Nigeria because of the nature of our borders. And so we have, Mr. President has given directives as to what to do next for us to intensify all efforts, collaborate with all our sister countries around, because it is the porous nature that is coming there that is actually aggravating our own issues on ground. And so all our theaters have been enhanced, equipments have been bought. Mr. President has also given us much approvals for air assets and other aspects of security. And like we said, it's not only the kinetic effort, the non-kinetic aspects that is most important. The President is also looking at the aspects of also discussing with the governors for their own support, buy-in in ensuring that we, dividends of democracy also extends to the communities to be able to stamp down the issue of insecurity. And we're working together. You can see we're together with the National Security Advisor, the NSA, the DGDSS, and all other ones. So we're working together as a team. And you can see us here, members of the armed forces, working in unity, including the police, to make sure that Nigeria is peaceful. And that is our mandate, and that we work towards. We want to appeal to all Nigerians not to get tired. And they should be wary of fake news. There's a lot of fake news that has been spread out, making it look, most of the videos being circulated are videos from other countries or old videos, making it look as if it is new. And you know, you always want to wonder, why do some individuals feel happy when things go bad in their country? If Nigeria is destroyed, all of us will go down. And so it is important that we all cooperate with members of the armed forces and security agencies. If we see something that is going wrong anywhere in the country, let us report. Action will be taken, including our own personnel. If we see them doing what is not supposed to be done, they should take a report and we'll take action. We want to thank all Nigerians for the support we've been getting. The federal government is doing so much. States need to come in, local governments and communities. Everyone has a role to play in ensuring that there's peace in Nigeria, and that's what we try to push, and that's what we're doing. And we're happy that Nigerians are warming up to it. Disregarding all those ones, you know, they are naysayers, those ones that don't mean us well. We're shaming them because we're going to continue to succeed.
The defense chief implored state governors and all Nigerians to continue to support them to deliver a more peaceful country to the citizens. Similarly, tackling the resurgence of insecurity in Borno and other parts of the northeast region is feasible if concerned individuals, the military and the society in general work towards a shared goal. Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, made this statement when he led senior officers from Defense and Services Headquarters on an operational visit to the headquarters, Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reports.
The operational visit by Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, as well as senior officers from Defense and Services Headquarters, followed the resurgence of insurgency attacks on vulnerable communities in Borno and other parts of northern Nigeria after an elaborate closed-door meeting with high-ranking military officers within the theater. The Chief of Defense Staff says asymmetric warfare requires total support, intelligence sharing, as well as unshakable collaboration between the military as well as concerned individuals and the larger population.
Actions have been taken to ensure that we address the series of attacks that is ongoing. We have seen recently the new theater commander has been brought in, other commanders to have been changed. A lot of equipments are even being brought in to the theater.
He described undermining efforts of the insurgents as a mechanism in ending terrorism and advised journalists to continue being objective and professional in reporting issues of insecurity. General Christopher Gwabin Musa reiterated that it is incumbent on the military to flush out marauding terrorists owing to the overwhelming support being extended to the armed forces by the federal government and the larger society. The Chief of Defense Staff later inspected one of the ammunition storage facilities at Giwa Barracks following its explosion recently due to high temperatures in Maiduguri. He also addressed troops at the barracks, where he enjoined them to keep hope alive, affirming that the restoration of peace, unity and development to Borno and Nigeria as a whole is sacrosanct. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
In a related news, Sokoto state government has renewed its commitment to strategically support and strengthen the security architecture to enable them curb the resurgent banditry and criminality in some parts of the state. Governor Ahmed Aliu made the pledge while receiving the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, during a working visit to the state. Dalhatu Abdullahi has details.
The Commandant General is in Sokoto State for an operational tour as part of his leadership strategy to ensure effective service delivery across all formations of the Corps nationwide. Welcoming him to the state, Governor Ahmed Aliu describes the contribution of the NSCDC as crucial to the maintenance of peace and the protection of lives and the property of the citizenry. The governor assured the Commandant General of the state government's commitment to sustaining logistic and other forms of support to security outfits operating in the state. He instantly granted the request to provide solar power to the NSCDC State Command headquarters to enhance their operations.
We are partners in this cause and will stop at nothing to restore and maintain law and order across our communities.
The NSCDC Commandant General Ahmed Abubakar Audi noted that the tour offers him the opportunity to interact with personnel, understand their challenges, and find practical solutions.
No agency has monopoly of any strategy. We must really come together if we want to cope this crisis.
At the Sultan's Palace, the NSCDC Commandant General solicited for prayers and support while reaffirming the core commitment to collaborating with other security agencies in tackling banditry, kidnapping, and other criminal activities. The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, called for enhanced synergy among security agencies to effectively confront the numerous security challenges facing the nation. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Securing Nigeria's digital future is crucial for the country's sustainable development as professionals in information technology recognize the importance of aligning with global practices. This was the focus of a conference by the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria in Abuja.
Leveraging technology to drive innovation and exploring emerging trends require capable hands in the industry. Now, the focus here is on national cybersecurity policy, implementation, and effectiveness.
The executive order on designation of critical national information infrastructure has been signed and gazetted. This is a landmark achievement in our quest to ensure that the nation's most vital digital and virtual assets are protected, monitored, and made resilient against emerging threats.
How shall we secure the digital highways upon which our nation's future will run? In an era where the glow of opportunity is marked by the shadow of risk.
Your role is vital in shaping the future of our economy, our education system, and our security architecture.
The advocacy has been on, and now these professionals are calling for intensity in adapting to the dynamic and ever-evolving industry.
Your contributions are the backbone of the digital transformation, which is sweeping across the industries and the country as a whole.
Craft strategies that enhance policy effectiveness for a safer digital Nigeria.
With effective monitoring, Nigeria's path to productivity is assured. In Abuja, Zenredingmun, NTA News.
In other news, development of communication policy that promotes cooperation among agencies, engage public and establish clear communication protocols has been described as panacea to effective handling of security information. This was at the 2025 symposium of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Niger State chapter with the theme Communication Strategies in Managing Security Information in the State. Messi Fabi reports.
Strategic communication is not just a supporting function,
but a fundamental component of security strategy. However, the rise of modern technologies has enabled people to communicate more easily, creating more imbalance between security and security information. This NIPR 2025 symposium, which brought together communication specialists, security agencies, and other stakeholders, evaluated approaches that will strengthen communication frameworks in the management of security information.
That's the major problem we are facing in Niger State today. As professionals in this aspect, we want to contribute our own way to see that this menace is ridden off in the state so that we have a safe society.
It becomes absolutely necessary for those of us that find ourselves in the media to ensure that we are careful in managing information.
A unified communication platform, build trust, engage proactively, promote interagency cooperation, and leverage technology through targeted communication strategies to improve public safety and foster development.
Posthumous awards were presented to families of notable members of the Institute in Niger State. In Mina, Mercy Fabi, NTA News.
From Mina, we take you to Lagos, where Hingino John Adams is there in the studio, waiting to present more reports for us on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Nolene, and welcome to Lagos. The Nigeria Police Force says it is committed to ensuring continuity and delivery of excellence through prevention of crime, protection of lives and property, and maintenance of peace and order. This was stated by the Police Public Relations Officer, Lagos State Command, Benjamin Hundeyi, while briefing the media on the latest achievements of his command. Adejoke Odeka completes the story.
Lagos, the commercial nerve of Nigeria, is a hive of activity, and ensuring crime does not affect the peace, safety, and security of the state is crucial. The Police Public Relations Officer of the Lagos Command says better equipment and infrastructure would go a long way in assisting the police intensify efforts in checking and addressing the root causes of crime.
We arrested 27 suspects involved in various crimes, including murder, defilements, kidnapping, armed robbery, vandalism, cultism, unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition, and more.
The police force also reiterates its commitment to tackling the menace of cultism in the state.
Cultism is a major issue. The state government too recognizes that, and that's why the anti-cultism law was created. And also we have arrested so many suspected cultists and prosecuted many.
He is imploring Lagos residents to alert the police of any suspicious activities, as the force remains open to collaborations with stakeholders and the citizenry for a safer, more secure operational environment. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And turning to health now, data by the World Health Organization, WHO, shows that immunization prevents about 3.5 to 5 million deaths from vaccine-preventable diseases annually. And as such, experts are advocating full immunization to ensure a healthy nation. Nigeria has made significant progress in immunization, as revealed by the World Health Organization data, which shows that full immunization coverage in the country increased from 12.3% in 2003 to 76.4% in 2021. Despite these successes, experts say the figure is still short of the International Immunization Agenda 2030 target. To attain this target, experts believe local vaccine development and production is crucial.
In terms of vaccine manufacturing, NAFDAC is ready. To be ready, we have a module in our global benchmarking WHO global benchmark, it is called notch release.
It's not as if we lack the expertise to produce. We just need to go back, start the journey which we have started. And I think we are achieving some great milestones.
To ensure Nigeria meets the target by 2030, government is intensifying efforts in the National Program on Immunization, NPI, aimed at protecting children from the killer diseases.
Prevention is better than cure. It will cost less to immunize a child than to treat that child. So it's good to encourage every parent that they should immunize their children against those killer diseases.
They maintained that continued support from government and international partners is crucial to achieving the target and avoiding preventable deaths. Those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Abuja after the break.
On Nationwide, and continuing with health news, the federal government has restated commitment to improving access to ear, nose and throat healthcare services across Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received a delegation from the Otorhinolaryngological Society of Nigeria, led by its president, Professor Aliu Mohammed Kodia, on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
With a specific focus on ENT care to address the rising cases of hearing loss and shortage of specialized medical personnel in the field, Vice President Kashim Shettima called for urgent action to upgrade Nigeria's healthcare infrastructure, restating the determination of the Tinubu administration to tackle key challenges in the ENT sector, including inadequate infrastructure, lack of equipment, and a growing wave of medical brain drain. He acknowledged the critical shortage of ENT specialists nationwide, saying there may not be up to 500 ENT surgeons in the country if immediate action is not taken, emphasizing that government support will not only focus on acquiring equipment, but will also prioritize the training, welfare, and retention of medical professionals in the field.
But where there is a will, there is always the way. The President is fully committed to revitalizing and repositioning the healthcare industry in this country. We need your partnership. We need your inputs. We need your perspectives. We are laymen. You are the people that will guide us. Come up with the ideas. We'll find windows to support you. This issue of implants and so on are doable. I want to thank you for staying in the country. And we are open for conversation, for dialogue, to see how we can address our health needs.
Professor Kodia drew attention to the alarming global and national statistics of hearing loss, describing it as a growing public health crisis. He cited data from the World Health Organization indicating that by 2050, nearly 2.5 billion people globally will experience some degree of hearing loss, with over 700 million requiring rehabilitation. Noting that Nigeria's National Policy and Strategic Plan for Ear and Hearing Care, launched in 2019, expired in 2023 without full implementation, calling it a missed opportunity to develop a sustainable hearing health framework. He reiterated Alson's readiness to partner with the government, private sector, and international organizations to reduce the burden of hearing loss and improve access to quality ENT services in the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima was conferred with the honorary title of Ambassador of the medical body. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
In other news, more facts are emerging on the achievements of the renewed Hope government under President Bola Tinubu, with the latest drop in the headline inflation to 0.52% in the month of April 2025. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris re-echoed this development at the weekly ministerial press briefing in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The last 2 years under President Tinubu administration have been characterized with hope and aspirations, including the determined and courageous decisions by the government and the expectations of the citizens who feel the impact of government policies. While leading the weekly public engagement, the government image promoter highlighted latest progress report on inflation by the National Bureau of Statistics as part of indications that Nigerians, irrespective of their socio-economic status, are guaranteed a safer and more secure future.
I am pleased to announce encouraging news from the National Bureau of Statistics, which released the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for April 2025 only yesterday. According to the report, the headline inflation rate for April stood at 23.71%, this represents a decrease of 0.52% from the 24.23% recorded in March 2025. Similarly, month-on-month inflation dropped by a notable 2.04%, from 3.90% in March to 1.86% in April. This, of course, did not just happen by chance. The President is focused and is determined, and his determination and his interventions are clearly paying off. The benefits of reform, though gradual, are real and measurable.
He has debunked claims being speculated that the ministerial press briefing has been relocated to London and urged responsive and purposeful conduct by the media. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
In the meantime, Minister of Works David Umahi says President Tinubu's administration prioritized the completion of a total of 440 projects inherited from the previous administrations. At a ministerial press briefing in Abuja, Umahi enumerated a number of road constructions and other infrastructural projects ongoing in the 6 geopolitical zones across the country. He says a total of 65 new major projects have been introduced by the current administration towards linking all routes within the economic corridors of the nation, with more emphasis on the 4 legacy projects, which he describes as monumental to President Tinubu's led administration.
On which other road arteries of the Federation will link up to. The South is benefited 118 kilometers by 361 billion. We are engaging in first carriageway, at the moment. And so from there, the North Central benefited because the project is running from there to Benue, from Benue to Kogi to Nasarawa down to Abuja. Outside the projects we completed and commissioned in the last year, May 29th, which we also rendered to you, we have also completed another set of 19 projects. And some of these projects, like the Yakasi project in Kano, we've also completed, the extension of Tom Mainland Bridge with CCTV camera to observe what is happening within that environment up to Falomo. We've also completed the Lagos-Ibadan, road, which was 84 kilometers, about 201 billion.
And talking education, students of Information and Communication Engineering at Nile University of Nigeria have stepped out of the lecture hall to the studios of the Nigerian Television Authority, the largest television network in Africa. The educational excursion is offering them first-hand experience of real-world broadcasting operations, deepening their understanding of the media landscape. Deborah Babapolo has the details.
After spending some time within the walls of Nile University of Nigeria to learn theories in the classroom, it was time for the students of Information and Communication Engineering Department to have a feel of what real television broadcast station is all about. So, on the grounds of the Nigerian Television Authority headquarters in Abuja, the students are showing interest in understanding how the traditional broadcast media, NTA, is blending in the new media in its operations to fit in the digital world and serve interest of all social classes.
Engineering is about solving problems, and they have seen equipments, that we have taught them about in the classroom.
We specifically choose NTA because they have a wider coverage, they have the equipment.
From the ICT department to the newsroom and then the outside broadcast section, the students say these sites are what they will not forget in a hurry.
We've been doing a lot of talk on broadcasting too. And I actually just brought up the excursion source that we were going to NTA, and we're like, okay, yes, this is good for us.
Growing up, I've always seen NTA in TVs, and I've seen some shows and other things, but now I get the opportunity to see how it happens backstage.
NTA is NTA is accurate from what I've seen. Everything they make sure they put their effort into giving correct news, into giving detailed news. You can actually not beat the reach.
The visit, they say, has exposed them to all aspects of television broadcasting and inspiration for choice of area of specialization. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
Still talking education, to enhance efficiency and transparency in accessing the Universal Basic Education Intervention Funds, the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, organized an interactive workshop with education stakeholders from the state Universal Basic Education boards on the adoption of newly introduced templates for accessing the UBE Intervention Fund. These templates are part of broader efforts to streamline fund access and ensure alignment with national standards. The workshop aids familiarization of the revised documentation process required to secure intervention support from the Universal Basic Education Commission.
Also coming to UBEC to coordinate this project will support all students. In alignment with that, some of the key actions, interventions that we have in the project will also be reflected in the new template.
Its Universal Basic Education Board's reaffirmed commitment to support and ensure full adoption of the new process. This will also position states to make the most of federal education interventions. We shall now be taking you to our Port Harcourt studios where Dibabari is standing by for more on Nationwide. Hello, Dibabari.
Port Harcourt, incessant vandalism of power transmission installations along the Abuja axis of River State, resulting in blackout in some areas, has continued to generate public concern. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, at a youth engagement in Abuja, is proposing surveillance partnership to curb the menace. Robinson Dratide has the details.
Around June 2024, Bayelsa State was thrown into blackout for several months, owing to the collapse of 20 transmission towers by vandals along the Abuja transmission station. Not long after that, the same incident occurred again, resulting into the loss of millions of naira for the company to restore power supply. To avert the reoccurrence, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has started sensitizing youths in Abuja East and Abuja West local government areas, urging them to own the national infrastructures.
We feel that the best is to go to the grassroots and be able to talk to the people.
The youths who denied the involvement of the indigents in the sabotage, however, expressed displeasure that 25 years after operation, TCN could not employ any of them. They further called for the clearing of the power lines to give access to surveillance monitoring by the youths.
The itself
is not caused by our people, because this transmission line has been there years back, and this issue of vandalization has also been there.
The most important thing for the safety of the tower is the surveillance.
There are over 400 transmission towers along the Abuja axis to Bayelsa State, and the surveillance initiative seems to be a noble proposal to TCN.
We have actually collected these views, and they are very important to us. So the think tank working on what should be done to avert all this type of incident. I think this whatever we're going to submit will be very important, will be helpful in their decision making.
The engagement, which started at Abuja town, will be extended to other communities. From Abuja in River State, Robinson Darateide, NTA News.
That most people see their doctors only when they are ill, which most often results in their consequences. To mitigate this, experts have recommended regular health checks as it serves as a bedrock for wellness. Chidiberoya has details.
When you're healthy, you can stay alive and do stuff you're supposed to do.
Regular medical checkup is a common form of preventive approach involving visits to hospitals for the maintenance of well-being. It also involves screening, laboratory tests, ultrasound, mammography, to mention but a few. Regular medical checkup is not a common practice in Nigeria, as poverty, lack of health facilities and equipment are said to be reasons why some Nigerians do not go for regular checkup.
A month ago, I took care of myself medically. I ran tests, so I was able to take care of myself in my house.
A lot of health issues that people have now, and nowadays that they don't even know what's causing it. So frequent checkup, going to the hospital, will actually help to ascertain some of these illnesses early.
Reacting to its importance, a medical practitioner, Dr. Romanus Nwala, says regular medical checkup is necessary to detect diseases at an early stage.
The approach to health individually matters. And those silent diseases can be discovered in form of diabetic mellitus, in form of hypertension. You can also discover an infection that is ongoing but have not developed to a full-blown disease state. So on doing this, you actually have tried to fix your life or your health condition or your health status into prioritization menu.
Experts reiterate that the purpose of a health check is to help identify, prevent or reduce the effect of a disease, as early detection gives one the best chance of getting the right treatment and to avoid complications that can lead to sudden deaths. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onyia, NTA News.
Continue in Abuja right after the break. Stay tuned.
To Jos. Plateau government is calling on policymakers to adopt policies that will reduce carbon emissions to improve public health and productivity. The State Deputy Governor, Ngo Josephine Pio, made the call in a message to the public health lecture of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists in Nigeria in Jos. Indiang and Abagyang has details.
The annual public lecture provides a critical platform for participants to discuss public health issues, recommend solutions towards healthier and more resilient country. The theme for this year's lecture, Environmental Degradation and Pollution, Advancing Public Health for Sustainable and Healthier Communities, is apt as environmental health is fundamental to public health.
We're drawing attention to the fact that a deteriorated environment, a polluted environment, is a public health menace. It is through this that we build our capacity.
For a sustainable and healthy community, the State Deputy Governor, Ngo Josephine Pio, represented calls for sustainable agriculture, biodiversity conservation, pollution reduction strategies, green technology innovation, environmental sustainability practices, and economic empowerment.
To address these issues, there is a need for concerted global efforts in order to mitigate the impacts and also protect the environment for this generation and for future generations.
Participants urged Plateau government to strengthen the Directorate of Medical Laboratory Services as a functional entity and partner with stakeholders. They also advised government to enforce environmental protection laws, curtail illegal mining, and integrate medical laboratory scientists into national emergency response teams during environmental disasters. In Jos, Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
Wife of Plateau Governor Helen Mutfwang has flagged off measles and rubella vaccine as part of the routine immunization scheduled for October 2025. Ijoma Ozomina has more.
The event was an engagement between wife of the governor and wives of the 17 local government chairmen, as well as other critical stakeholders, on the introduction of measles rubella vaccine. Measles, a contagious disease caused by its virus, spreads easily through cough, breathing and sneezing, with resultant complications such as blindness, deafness, brain inflammation and diarrhea. Rubella, on the other hand, called German measles, is also caused by rubella virus and spreads through respiratory droplets, affecting mostly pregnant women, resulting to birth defects.
So we don't want somewhere, by the time we are introducing these vaccines, there will be resistance. So this activity is key.
Wife of the governor directed participants to sensitize the grassroots on the dangers of the diseases and the need for children to be vaccinated.
Let me use this opportunity to plead with you, wives of 17 local government chairmen here present, that as you get back to your various local governments, ensure to sensitize all, especially mothers, on the importance of the introduction of new measles rubella vaccine. It is safe, effective, and free.
Commissioner for Health and the Executive Secretary, Primary Health Care Board, notes that more than 2 million children are targeted for the exercise. Resource person Dr. Issa Vasa gave detailed presentation on the causes, symptoms, prevention and diagnosis of measles and rubella. The engagement was in collaboration with National Healthcare Development Agency and partners. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. It's back to Nolin in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Very well, Bilkisu Nuhu. Thank you so much. And from the political scene, secretaries to the government of APC-governed states are enhancing capacity to deliver on strategic frameworks that conform with the APC development blueprint nationwide. This came to the fore during an interactive session with the Progressive Governors Forum Secretariat with 22 secretaries to the state government in APC-controlled states in attendance. During the session, the secretaries agreed to deploy innovative strategies to design and implement government policies through the promotion of enterprising skills and development.
The forum reaffirmed its loyalty to the progressive governors and resolved to strengthen mechanisms for transparency, accountability, and performance-based delivery. The adoption of digital tools to automate and ease governance processes was prioritized as the number 3 resolution.
We remain unwavering in our resolve to provide strategic, technical, and innovative support to actualize the bold aspirations of the progressive governors.
The two retreats saw the emergence of its pioneer leadership, chaired by Secretary to the Government of Kogi State, while Secretary to the Government of Nasarawa State, Dr. Labaran Shuaibu Magaji, is to serve as the Secretary. Still on politics, the Action Democratic Congress ADC says it is mobilizing Nigerians to own and participate actively in the democratic process to ensure good governance. Chairman of the party, Rafo K. Ngosu, says ADC will leverage its handshake campaign to woo more members into the party. Linda Okorie-Igwe reports.
We are sure that Nigeria will be a different country.
Members of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, are in Abuja for a summit aimed at repositioning the party ahead of future elections. With the team repositioning Nigeria, how collective responsibility and participation can drive Nigerians' turnaround. The ADC has set an ambitious target to secure over 35 million votes in future elections. According to the party's chairman, Ralph Okenwonso, this goal can be achieved through mobilization and its initiative for youth participation in democracy.
We are bringing a collective of parties and patriots, not just political party leaders. We're not interested about the political parties. We're interested in Nigerians with quality minds, Nigerians that have the heart to build a nation. We're mobilizing people that just turned 18.
Solutions to our problems are all over here. What we lack is a machinery of mass participation so that what you know and what I know and what everybody else knows can be brought to bear on how we are governed.
The party also held a National Executive Committee meeting where strategies were adopted to implement the handshake campaign ahead of future elections.
We'll continue to remain committed to seeing to the development of our great nation, Nigeria, as a unified and indivisible country.
Linda Okorie-Igwe, NTA News.
Nigeria's Mining Cadastral Office has been described as a model of digital excellence and transparency in the extractive industry. This was during a high-level visit by a delegation from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, who are in Abuja to finalize frameworks for a regional geo-extractive observatory and mining cadastral system. Leader of the delegation, William Badeo, particularly commended the electronic media mining cadastral plus system launched in November 2022. Director General of the Mining Cadastral Office, Obadiah Simon Nkom, said the visit was not just an honor for the agency, but for Nigeria's mining industry.
For a web-based system, you don't need to come to the cadastral, you submit your applications anywhere in the world, and it has actually boosted a lot of things. It has created more transparency, real time. Because when you look at the system, you now know that it has, in fact, it has jumped our revenue astronomically. What we used to generate in a year, we now even generate it in a month.
All our member states, the other member states, can actually learn a lot, and we hope and pray that the Mining Cadastral Office will give us the opportunity for further collaboration in such a way that this kind of thing can be emulated in other member states in the region.
Confirmed the support of the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, for the ECOWAS initiative. And that concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for being part of it. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Bye for now.